Kiwi. I want to talk about one of the more confusing things that comes up with hours of service, personal conveyance. Especially since the advent of ELDs, personal conveyance has been something that's been used by a lot of drivers to legitimately use that commercial vehicle as a personal vehicle to accomplish things that they need, maybe going to get groceries or commuting between their home and their workplace. Those are all legitimate uses, but in ELD enforcement, DOT officers are looking closely at PC use to make sure that it's legitimate. And what you have to be careful of is that the use of the truck is truly personal. So if you're parked on a 34-hour break, for example, you can go to personal conveyance, leave your parking space, go to get groceries or entertainment or food or things like that, and then come back to that original parking space so that you don't advance the truck toward its load or advance an empty truck towards its next load. You have to be careful not to accomplish any business purposes while you're doing personal conveyance. So if you maybe at the end of your shift, you're going home for home time, you've got a secure lot where you drop your trailer, personal convey to your house, then personal convey for your house back to your trailer, then go on duty and start your duty day from there. That's perfectly legitimate. Years ago, it wasn't okay to do personal conveyance with a loaded vehicle. In 2017, the FMCSA updated the guidance on personal conveyance, and it's now allowable to use a loaded vehicle to do personal conveyance. So if you can't drop your trailer safely, you can go ahead and take that load along with you. But what they're going to be concerned again is, are you advancing that load towards its destination with the use of personal conveyance, or are you advancing an empty truck towards its next load with the use of personal conveyance? So be watching out for that carefully. There are a couple of exceptions where you can do a one-way trip on personal conveyance. If you're parked somewhere and in the middle of your break, a law enforcement or security officer tells you that you have to move the truck, maybe there's an emergency of some kind, and they tell you to get the truck out of here, you can use personal conveyance and go ahead and do that. It would be helpful to get a name and badge number from that officer to put in the annotation in your logs if possible. The other one that gets more commonly used would be if you're at a shipper-receiver location. So this can't be during the middle of your trip. It's got to be after you load or after you unload. If you're leaving that shipper-receiver location, then you can use personal conveyance to go to the nearest safe parking. You have to look in a 360-degree view all the way around you and find the nearest safe parking. Then you can go to personal conveyance, go to that safe parking, and you don't have to return before you continue the rest of your trip. So again, that can't be during the middle of your trip. If you're in the midst of a trip and let's say that you had a goal to go to a particular parking area and then you get delayed so that you're not able to get to that parking area, if you then stop and use personal conveyance to get you to that parking area for your rest break, then once your rest break is over, you would have to use personal conveyance to go back to the point where you started the personal conveyance before your break and then continue your journey from there. Another example would be taking your truck to a shop to get it worked on. You can't use personal conveyance to take a truck to a shop. It has to be something that's personal for the driver, either to get you back and forth to lodging, food, entertainment, something like that. Just be aware that those inspectors are looking and you'll stay out of trouble.